G'day legends, welcome back. Quitting your job and moving overseas is all the rage right now. But a lot of you might never have thought about the many negatives that come with this type of lifestyle. In this video, we're going to be talking about the 5 biggest scary truths that you guys will eventually realize when you live this kind of lifestyle. But we're not going to just scare you in this video. We're going to tell you these scary truths, and we're also going to tell you how you can combat and avoid them to live a better life. My name's AK Joel. I've been living as a digital nomad for 4.5 years, since May 2019, when I quit my 6-figure job back in Melbourne, Australia, to travel the world. And now I live in Medellin, Colombia.
My name is Andrew Messia. I've been here for about 13 years now, since 2010. I've been able to start a business here, buy property, live an amazing life at 42 years old.
Andrew's been living this life for 13 years, so he's definitely been through a lot of the things we're going to talk about in this video. With that said, let's get straight into number 5. Number 5 is that you'll eventually get bored. A lot of us dream of giving up the office life to go and lie on a beach somewhere and sip cocktails and get tanned. But if you're anything like us and you're someone who likes to have goals and challenges and interested in the self-development part of life and getting better and doing meaningful things, eventually this type of lifestyle is going to get very boring. And that's exactly what happened to me when I was surfing on the Pacific coast of Mexico and living in surf towns. It's fun, but a lot of the people you meet there are kind of not doing much with their lives. They're just smoking weed, sleeping on the beach, tanning and surfing. And if you want to do anything with your life, it's not really going to go forward in these types of places.
I lived for about 3 months in Sayulita, which is a surf town on the Pacific. And again, like you said, you get to that point where you want to do something other than just go to the beach, surf, eat tacos, and veg out, during the day. Here in Colombia and in Medellin particularly, it's been a little bit different experience because of the nature of what Medellin offers for people. It attracts people that are more go-getters, people that want to do things, start projects. I mean, I'm 42 years old and I started this project with you. I have that type of personality, but also I don't know if this would be very possible, let's say in another location like a beach side.
And the main thing is, guys, this is a dream life you're thinking about now because you're probably sitting in the office. But yeah, eventually, if you're someone who's wants to develop yourself in life and go further, you're going to get bored probably around the 3 to 6 month mark. Maybe the first 3 months will just be like, oh my God, I'm so stressed. I need to de-stress. The next 3 months might be enjoying. And after that, you'll be like, is this all there is? Yeah. Surfing every day and eating tacos? Man, like, wow, I'm getting bored like I was back in my job. That's one big thing that a lot of people face living this type of life. What's the workaround to that, Andrew?
For me, it's having challenges and goals. And in between, discipline. Because if you set a goal and you have a challenge, you're not going to get over the challenge and meet your goal if you don't have discipline, if you don't have a routine that you're following, and if you don't have accountability. So that's been my workaround, and surrounding myself with people that I can plan my goals with and work towards them and be accountable to each other. It has been a world of a difference when it comes to being successful and falling short.
Absolutely. And it doesn't have to be something like, I want to start my business, I want to be like a famous YouTuber or anything. It can be anything in your life that you want to work towards. It could even be something as simple as, in 6 months, I want to have a 10-minute conversation with a native speaker of Spanish.
Right.
And you can work towards that. Or it could be, I want to lose 10 pounds.
Or I want to play tennis or whatever the case may be.
Just set your goals and work towards them, because with goals, you won't get bored and your life is going to be much more fulfilling.
Exactly.
That brings us to number 2. Once you've set these goals and you're living the life where you're not accountable to anyone, you're your own boss, you set your own hours, you can be less productive because there's so many distractions. You might be like, hey, I got 5 tasks to do today, but I don't really need to be here.
Right.
But man, I'm going to go to, the cafe and hang out with my mate. I'm going to go, shoot hoops. I'm going to go party.
Or even if you're just at home, sometimes your own home has distractions. A lot of the people that are new to this, they see the unmade bed. They see, we got to start on lunch, and it's 10 o'clock. You should be working.
And the day can really get away from you when you're just like, I'm scrolling this, I'm watching an episode of this, and because you haven't been conditioned to have that self-discipline. Right. Because you might have a boss breathing down your neck saying, hey, do this by this time, blah blah blah, and he's setting your goals and tasks for you. But now you got to self-motivate. And one really, really good way of being more productive is this, Andrew.
Separating your work from your home environment.
And you do that every day. And can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, I love to go to the co-working space in my neighborhood. Like I said, I've been doing this for many years. And one of the big reasons why I like leaving the house, although I have a nice office here to work from, is one, I like to separate my work from things that I do at home, right? Second, I do like to get out of the house. I like, we have amazing weather in this city, so I love to walk down there, get to the co-working. But I know that once I get to the co-working, it's work because I'm paying for that time to be there, first of all.
Yeah.
So I'm not just going to be messing around on the internet and scrolling Instagram or whatever. And second of all, there are other people that are on that same vibe there. So it motivates you to get to work, get things done by lunchtime, and then go do your thing.
Absolutely. That's the two parts to that, actually, what you said. The first one is put yourself away from the distractions, which is home when you have all these other things, TV, whatever. Second one, it's actually three parts. Second one is put yourself in a place where others are being productive around you. Because if you see that, you're like, all right, I got to do something as well. And for you, really lazy people that find difficulty being self-motivated, pay for that space. Because I guarantee you, if you go and you pay like, $100 a week or something to go and sit in a place, you're going to be working.
You're not going to be
done. Checking Instagram, watching Netflix to pay $100 a month.
That's true. That reminds me of, I don't know if you've read the book Atomic Habits.
I have not.
By Mr. Cleary. Oh, man, such a great book. But that's what he talks about. Okay. It's like if you want to reach a goal, it's not about setting and planning. I mean, it is about setting and planning, but really what it boils down to is building constructive habits, habits that become part of your life. You want to learn how to play the guitar. Guess what? You got to set up your environment so that you're around the guitar or people that play the guitar, whether it's hiring a guitar teacher or joining people that are brand new to it in groups or whatever the case may be. But you got to set that habit, that discipline.
Get out of the house environment. Go somewhere that's set aside mentally. I'm going here. I'm going to work. And now, number 3 on the list of top 5 scary truths about living the dream life as a digital nomad. Eventually, you'll feel unfulfilled because you may be living a great life, but you may not be doing anything worthwhile. And in the end, you may just be living a very superficial life, earning money and then spending it on clothes and partying and, very shallow things like that. But there's a great way to combat that and have a bit more of a fulfilling life. And me and Andrew both are kind of close to this. And do you want to tell us a bit about that?
One of the best ways that I found, even when I was just starting my business and I was a teacher full-time and working on my business part-time, I'd always find time to go volunteer. Here in Medellin, there are many orphanages and underprivileged community centers where you can go and volunteer, whether it's playing with the kids, teaching them English, which was what I would do. And that made me feel amazing inside. And I felt like there was a bigger purpose there, to the point where I said, once I have the money and I'm able to have, and I have the resources, I'm going to have my own nonprofit organization. And that's one of the ways that we met. Was he came to one of our events for teaching English to the kids in one of the neighborhoods. So yeah, giving back to the community, doing something that transcends your day-to-day life, and working for money so that you can buy things and live your life could be more fulfilling.
You talked about books before. There's another book, I don't know what the name of it is, but it talks about vitamin people. Have you heard this term?
Vitamin people.
If you hang out with someone and they give you a lot of motivation and happiness and drive you to be better, they're your vitamin person. And as much as you need to surround yourself with vitamin people, you need to be that vitamin person for other people.
Somebody else, yeah.
So like when we go to the English class and we teach the kids English, laugh with them, and take them out of maybe a bit of more harder, difficult home environment they might have, we're their vitamins. And I think being a vitamin for someone can really make your life much more fulfilling. Just before we jump into number 2, guys, make sure that you stay to the end, because we're going to be giving you a link specific to Medellin that's really going to help you combat the problem, which we're going to highlight in number 1. So number 2 on the list of top 5 things that's going to scare you once you come into this digital nomad life and make you wonder, oh my God, is this really what they were talking about? I don't like this anymore. You might stay single for a long time, especially if you live in these kind of smaller towns like Sayulita, where we both lived for a long time. It's heavily tourist influx. People coming in for a weekend or a week. It's not really people staying there for a long time. So it's hard to build long-term relationships. I mean, sure, it might be cool for, banging every night or whatever you want. But if someone wants actually to build a strong long-term relationship with someone, it can be really hard, don't you think?
Yeah, it could be tough because of what you said. I mean, we're talking about nomads, and the word nomad means that you don't stay in one place for a long time. So if you're in a place where people come and go, or you're doing the coming and going, it's going to be hard to fill that void.
Better idea would be move to a bigger city, like we do in Medellin, Colombia, the city of 4 million people.
Right.
You stay in a place where it's a lot more population, first of all, a lot more locals, a lot more expats who are actually living there rather than just being tourists who are coming in and going. And another extra level is wherever it may be, whether it's Colombia or another country, learn the local language. because probably like what, 2% of people, 1% of people, probably less are expats actually in the city. So really shutting down your dating and even friendship possibilities. If you learn Spanish, you open up to everyone who lives here.
Right. That's the beautiful thing about Medellin, is that even though there is tourism and it has boomed in the last few years, a lot of the people that decide to come here also decide to stay here for longer. It's not like a beach town where people come and go all the time.
Yeah.
It's more of the expat vibe where people want to live here.
Before we get into number one, guys, we just want to remind you, if you are interested in moving to Medellin, we have a free moving to Medellin checklist, which are going to give you everything you need to know that you need to plan before you get here. And some things I guarantee you haven't thought about. We didn't think about it either. That's why we made this list from our mistakes. But jump on the website right here, medellinmasterclass.com. Link is in the description as well. Put in your email and we'll send you that too. But that being said, number one, and this is one thing that we keep hearing about all the time. Expats come here and they find it really, really difficult to make local friends, yeah? And the friendships that they make with other expats and whatever are very base level, superficial, and they never form deep connections. And I think this is a worldwide problem for all people living outside their country. It's just like very hard to find people you can have deep connections with because they come, they go, you haven't known them for that long. Have you found this?
Yes and no. So I have found this in some people that come here and don't learn the language. They just stick around other expats or even tourists, and they just live in the touristy area where people come and go, as we talked about in the other point. But I've also found a lot of people decide to stay in Medellin over other countries and other cities in the world because this is the place where they are able to find their group, their close friends, deeper connections. But again, that comes with learning the language, learning the culture, venturing outside from just the touristy areas, pursuing hobbies where you're going to make deeper connections based on interests.
My number one recommendation is to find things that you're interested in, find groups for those things, and go to those things because you're going to find people with like-minded interests, and you can just say, hey, do you want to go hiking next weekend? Do you want to shoot hoops next weekend? Whatever's your interest, you can find someone wherever it may be in the world, and especially in Medellin too. There's a link here that we're going to put in the description. It's MDE community, a list of all the WhatsApp groups here. It's got everything from board games to sports to different types of cuisines that people like, foodies group.
That is the greatest resource. If you are new to the city, or even if you're not, I've been here for 13 years, and when I found out about that a few months ago, I was blown away.
Amazing. You can't be lonely with that.
Huge community of different chat groups that do different things.
And if you're thinking about moving to Medellin, guys, check out this video here. We tell you everything we've learnt in 15 years of living here and what you need to organize before you move.